Hello everyone, my name is Eric and I'm here with Griffin and we're playing some War Thunder. So, shall we go for the next battle?
Yep.
Yep. So, what were you... I forgot, what were we talking about previously?
Good question. I don't have that sort of attention span.
Good. Neither do I.
Looks like a ground target mission.
It looks like it.
Oh, look, Stalingrad. If you're Russian and you like to scream at the top of your lungs at people in video games, take a hit at that subscribe button.
Okay, we're flying over Stalingrad. Nice one. Is it still called Stalingrad or is it something else today?
No, that's a good question. I actually don't know.
Yeah, because I have no idea. So I guess we're going for bombers.
I get
today.
where you're coming from because after the whole Stalin thing, they tried their best to, anything that was remotely idolizing him, they kind of tried to brush under.
Because it was like Khrushchev after him, wasn't it?
I believe. But we all know my main man in Russian history is Boris Yeltsin. Shout out to Boris Yeltsin.
He even has a vodka named after himself. Love that guy.
If you like Russian prime ministers that love tennis, hit that subscribe button.
So I think we're hunting bombers today, right?
Ground targets. I'm in my attacker. I'm in my German planes.
Holy hell, that's a lot of ground targets.
I mean, this is basically Tuesday in World War II.
So, listen up. Wellington, is that a bomber?
It's a great dish that is beef with a pastry baked around it. But in terms of planes, I don't know.
Or it's a boot you wear when it's wet outside.
That is true. That is true. And before somebody screams at me about the description of that food, I actually never ate one. I just watch a lot of Gordon Ramsay, and he likes to scream about them.
Beef Wellington.
Yeah, beef Wellington.
I don't think I've eaten beef Wellington either, so...
It's one of those foods that, I hear about often. A lot of people talk about them, but I never, for one, have ever ate one.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried a lot of weird things, but never beef Wellington. Okay, beef Wellington is not weird. But I did eat escargot a while back, a couple of years ago. Holy shit.
And how was that? I've never ate it personally.
Okay, escargot, or snails, is a very special dish. I can't recommend making it by yourself. I would say that you should probably let somebody else cook it for you. Mostly it's a bit chewy, let's say it like that. Tastes mostly like garlic, wine, and herbs. Oh, I'm going down.
Yeah, I got down. Shut down by a PE-3.
I was shot down by a player. A Russian airplane. Well, yeah, that was a very interesting experience, but the thing was that I actually went out and I caught my own snails, and I kept them in a bathtub, in my bathtub actually, and fed them carrots and salad and stuff, and then started starving them, and then I just put them in like you do normally when you grow them in a farm.
Yeah.
So I put them in salt, and then you cook them and you pull them out of their shell. And the problem was that I'm a little bit queasy when it comes to killing animals and things, and that smell from them put me off entirely. I couldn't eat it properly. whenever I just chewed it, I felt that smell. I had that smell in my nose, and yeah, it was crap.
Um,
Whoa, somebody's really pissed off.
yeah.
Pony S456, calm your tits, dude.
Soothe the calamity that is your memories, my dude.
Yes, very well said.
Um, yeah.
So I would recommend eating it because it's a very interesting taste experience. But don't do it yourself unless you're...
Yeah, I think I'll go to a restaurant that probably specializes in those.
Yeah, if you have the stomach for it, you can make it yourself. Otherwise, no.
Imagine my friends when you started talking about, you know, the raising of the snails. I have a friend, and shout out to him if he watches this. I don't even think he does, but he doesn't eat snails. But he doesn't? He doesn't eat snails, but he takes care of this weird animal he has called like an African land snail. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And when you mentioned the bathtub and stuff, that's where he first got it when I met him. And at first when he said, "Oh, yeah, I like pets. I have a pet snail," and I was like, "Oh, that's not. I guess it's a bit weird, but it's a snail. Well, what do you do?" Until he showed me this thing, and I swear to God, it's the size of my head. Like
it's enormous,
huge, slimy, like it was huge. I was just like, good God. If anybody doesn't know what one of these things is, like, Google it, and one of the first images is a scientist who has one like stuck to his glasses, and it's taking up like half of his face. And I'm like, oh my God.
Well, it's basically a mollusk, so if you like seafood, you'll like snails.
I like seafood.
Have you eaten oysters?
I have, so and I enjoy them.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you'll probably like snails. I love oysters, but snails didn't work for me, but that's my own fault.
Yeah, I eat it. I don't eat all seafood, but in terms of fish, I'll eat anything.
Well, I know that the first time we talked, you ate pickled eels.
Oh,
so...
dude, jellied eels are the greatest.
Jellied.
Anybody here that likes jellied eels, hit that subscribe button.
Pony S456 takes this game too seriously.
I don't get salty in games. I've never really gotten angry in this game, though. I've been shocked at this game in terms of how I've died, but I've never really actually been salty at this game because I got like 1,000,000 silver lions. Getting my ammo and repair cost me like 200 crowns per game, so I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think I've been salty at this game specifically. It's been more like other games like Eternal Crusade, for example.
Well, you know, you don't have to be salty at that game anymore. It's kind of dead.
Yeah, it is.
300 players last time I checked.
Yeah, and it's just bad. I mean, it has potential, but currently it's just a generic shooter game.
I'm kind of sad. That was our chance at a 40k MMO.
Yeah, I'm hoping, but I know it will never happen, but I'm hoping that Total War would do something 40k like.
I know that, like, if anybody's watched, especially the time me and you played Eternal Crusade, everybody here knows I am not too big of a fan of Warhammer Fantasy. But really, Total War, Warhammer, like, if I didn't like fantasy, well, I like it now.
Honestly, it was one of the best purchases during the sale for me. I mean, I love it, but damn, it gets under my skin. Oh, I get so salty.
I'm a huge Total War freak.
I've never played Total War before the Warhammer version of it.
Well, each one is different. Like, they have the same premise, but they're all different. Like the GUI and stuff, it kind of evolves as it went on, in terms of streamlining a lot of the strategy elements that are not combat related. gets streamlined the further you go into the series.
Which is a good thing. I'm glad they actually do something about the game.
From what I've heard, Warhammer is considered among the best, because Total War players, I love you guys because technically I'm part of you, but they can be picky, pretty bad. I know Total War Rome 2 came out a few years back, and they had a shaky launch in terms of bugs. But I really didn't think it was that big of a deal. They got fixed really fast, but you know, because it was at launch, everybody got salty instead of being patient and waiting. But hey, at least it won't be as bad as a launch as the Division. If you bought that game, anybody who bought that game out in the audience today, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and I'm feeling a bit sorry for the guys working on it, because I know a few of them.
Oh, I know. The Division is I think that's like a grand example of developers gone right, publishers gone wrong.
I believe that is a very good description of it.
I am disgusted that there are so many games out there that the developers are the right choice. They're the guys for that game, and then the publishers ruin it.
Yeah, it's too bad, because again, it's a game that had potential.
Especially since I'm such a big fan of Tom Clancy. And
Same
his
here.
work, may he rest in peace. May the video games immortalize him forever. But although I personally did not play The Division, I had a lot of friends who had it. I watched them play it a lot, and even in the back of my head as I watched every time, it was like, wow, if only one thing in the timeline changed in terms of the creation of this game, I would be sitting here playing it. But it was just the developers ruined it for me. I think, like, although I was one of those people, I'm sure you know the feeling when you're kind of rocking back and forth to buy a game, and it's like that for a big long time. And that's how it was with Division until a lot of my friends who played the game started reposting this news report in the game sphere that there was a farming glitch that you could do. Like we're talking about like RPG farming glitches that you'd find in any game. And apparently if you were caught doing that glitch, they would ban you. Like, they were going to patch it, but they were going to ban you. And I was just like, you know what? No. I mean, you shouldn't ban people just because they're exploiting the game you didn't bother fixing.
No, if people use the exploit and you haven't fixed it, then it's not the player's fault, because that's what players do. Honestly, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about... I felt the same about Friday the 13th, to be honest.
Yeah, I picked up that game.
You did?
To play with you. And
Yeah.
And of course this was like on a late weekend, so like, you know, you were away. And I was like, you know, yeah, I'll buy it for Elric. I'll go and play a few rounds myself. And then I was like, oh my god, this is awful. Like, the gameplay was so good.
Did you return it, or...?
I've already returned it.
Ah, I understand that.
Like, I was really trying to keep it a hold just so we could play, but I couldn't. It was like, no.
That's how I feel too now. After playing it for a while, it's... No. I might do whenever, or if they ever release the single-player campaign, I might play that for the channel, but otherwise, no.
Hey, Friday the 13th players who are probably amongst the audience, because there's videos there. You waiting for the single player? Yeah, we too.
Yeah, we sure do. And I don't know. It might be good, but I don't think so, because it's going to be... You're going to play Jason, and it's probably going to be really sucky AI bots that you're going to kill. Well, for me, it's a good thing, a way to practice being Jason, but come on.
Yeah, God, I just remembered when. I mean, I'm glad that we're getting single player, but if it's not good, like, what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of this entire always going multiplayer.
Me neither. I honestly think. Okay, I know this is gonna be weird to explain. Uh, as a gamer, pretty much hardcore all my life. I I find this weird nihilism that I feel when I play online only games because let's take World of Warcraft for example. I used to play that a lot. Although I have a lot of fun and the game is quality and I'm having a lot of fun playing it, I can't get the feeling in the back of my head that like once people stop playing this game, all the story, the resources that went into this game are just gone forever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of my friends beg me to go get Dead by Daylight, and I won't. It's multiplayer only. Once that game dies out, that purchase was pretty much pointless.
It's actually the same with Left 4 Dead, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Horrible AI, but still, I love those games, but the AI...
You mean you don't like getting pounced by a hunter and then waiting about 10 to 15 seconds before they'll finally shoot it off of you?
Probably, and all the kill stealing. Or the classic one from the first game where they got in your way.
Ooh. Yeah, I used to play an awful lot of Left 4 Dead. I do put a few rounds into from time to time.
Yeah, I do. I play sometimes. I used to play a little bit with my girlfriend. I do sometimes with my sister, but...
If only Valve could count the 3.
Yeah. It's too bad, because still, it's a good game.
Oh yeah, a lot of people still play it too. It's kind of
Yeah,
weird.
I'm not surprised. I mean, it's still good and everything, and you can do a lot of things. Oh, that last match didn't go too well, did it?
No, I was sitting here looking like at the results, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I did awful." Mostly because I was attacking ground targets, so I got a lot of ground target kills. But like,
It's good.
I was sitting here. What got me the last match? Everybody kept sniping my pilot, and I was just like, "Ugh."
I hate it when they get the pilot. I know, I love the idea that you can upgrade your crew and everything, but honestly, I'm too lazy.
I remember when I started to play, and this happened like a few months ago. I got on, and I was playing War Thunder, having a good time, and I noticed, hey, what's this glowing number under my under my planes? And I had like 300 crew points in like every plane. I was unaware that this was a system.
Yeah, that's kind of bad that you forgot.
Yeah, which I have now. Like I got level 9, 8, 7 crews, but I just think that the benefits of upgrading such people are kind of really until it starts to get higher level.
Yeah, before that, it feels like not really. It feels a bit pointless, to be honest.
Yeah, but then again, the greatest thing I ever discovered in this game is that switching ammo is definitely worth it.
How do you switch ammo? Oh, right, you mean before you spawn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found out that with the tanks, actually, that was really good.
Okay, the tanks was I always okay. Since I am such a big person about tanks, I actually know a lot of the science and what each shell is supposed to do. So I already knew about that. But when I was playing the planes originally, I always got kind of conscious, like, but the stock ammo's okay. And then one time I was like, oh, I'll give universal ammo a try, and started to notice that I took down planes way quicker with the incendiary armor piercing and all that. And I was like, wow, where have you been all my life?
So, shall we try another mission for as the last part of this episode?
Yeah, I always forget that I have to ready up.
Yeah.
Then again, a little quality of life things could be touched up here and there. That would help. Like auto readying. Also, can we please fix that god awful battle screen?
Yeah, I would like that. Really.
Yep, I readied up whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I accidentally chose Tank Arcade there. There, Air Arcade.
Well, planes and tank arcade are a different problem of their own.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a player of War Thunder and you don't kamikaze your plane when you're in tank battles, you should subscribe. In fact, you're probably a friend. I can appreciate anybody who doesn't kamikaze their planes. It annoys the crap out of me. Not
Yeah.
only because it does damage, and I understand why it does. You know, it's a gigantic metallic structure crashing into another, but it's you get bonuses if you survive. Go ahead, take the bonus. Don't waste your plane on like a 2 points of damage on something completely insignificant.
Yeah, and I've done the same mistake several times, and I don't. Well, I hardly participate in the air battles anymore, but I've done the same mistake because it seems good idea to just blow your plane down into your enemy, but that's not how it works.
Nope. And I want to start in a bomber. I'm feeling in a bomber mood.
Well, go for it. I'm going to go for some ground units and hopefully other players.
Okay. Check my map.
I
Man,
have 3 of them to bomb. So
being
go for it.
being in a bomber always reminds me of good old days of playing IL-2 Sturmovik. If you play IL-2 Sturmovik, you should subscribe. Which I know you asked before about what that was. It's a super realistic flight simulator that kind of plays like War Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it as arcadey or as realistic as you want. There's a bunch of options you can set. They're not in stone. You can select, hey, if you're finding ammo consumption annoying and you don't want that, but you still want like realistic damage, you can turn that off and on. But IL-2 Sturmovik it plays like War Thunder, as in it's pretty old now. But there's a lot of mods that put it up to snuff with some more modern games.
Okay.
But plays like War Thunder, as it uses damage models, as it's supposed to be a super realistic flight simulator. But my favorite part of it is that it has like 300 different air units.
Holy shit. Somebody got me good.
Somebody in an I-16, it looks like. Nope,
Yeah.
don't drop bombs.
I-16 Type 10. I'm surprised.
Oh yeah, I have 8 250-kilogram bombs.
I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, I was reading out my loadout, and I was like trying to decide what would be better. But I have to get rid of the inner child in me who sees a bigger number and it's like, yep, that's better. When
Well, if it's a bigger number, it has to be better.
yeah, and then I have to snap back into adult reality and realize, oh yeah, one 2,000-kilogram bomb is not going to be as good for what I'm going for as 8 250-kilogram bombs.
Yeah, if you want to destroy more, go with the one with the less payload.
Yeah. Unless you're finding yourself, which is just a tip for all new War Thunder players, if you're finding a problem piercing, like you're dropping bombs on your targets, but they're not actually doing anything, then you should up the payload, the kilogram.
Yeah, but only then.
Yeah. If you're going for bases, just load up on whatever has the most total output, because bases get hurt by anything but bullets, really. Also, bless anybody who can be a torpedo bomber in this game. I can't do that.
I've never actually tried it.
Okay, my problem is not the prerequisites that you need to fulfill before dropping the torpedo. My problem is aiming the torpedo and kind of in my head on the fly calculating like where I should place the torpedo so that it hits the ship, like, you know, determining the speed of the ship and where it will be when I drop this torpedo and how long it will be before it gets there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gets me. I can't aim my torpedoes, which I know a lot of people probably will just scream, well, just, you know, get as close as possible, then drop them. Well, that would be a great idea if it didn't take a certain distance for them to, like, activate.
Yeah, that's usually a big problem.
Which, yeah. Which I actually understand why they have those, because, you know, War Thunder tries to be at least somewhat realistic, and in real life you don't want the torpedo to go off right in front of your ship.
That's kind of a bad idea.
The same thing with a lot of grenade launchers. A lot of video
you don't
games,
want it to go off in your face, so...
Yeah, a lot of video games don't really do it, but grenade launchers in real life, when they launch out of the you know, the gun, they have like a certain type of like distance fuse, so that like if it hits something below a certain distance, it won't go off. That way the user is protected. However, I'm pretty sure if you got shot in the ribs with a grenade that didn't go off, I can imagine it would still be incredibly painful on your part.
That would sting.
Then again, I know a lot of people who... ironically enough, I know a lot of my friends in Sweden who like to do airsoft guns with the pellets and rubber bullets, and they like to shoot each other. And I'm like, you have fun with that.
Okay, Swedes are kind of masochistic and sadistic then.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's all training for the Fourth Swedish Reich.
Yep.
They're gonna rule the world with their cheap house furnishings. That's how they get you.
Yeah, this IKEA, this is the master plan. Oops, did I say that out loud?
I've actually never been to an IKEA store.
You should be happy about that.
Like, in fact, it's gonna sound really weird. I've never seen one. We don't have one here.
You don't?
No, we don't actually. And when I've traveled abroad, I've never actually seen one either.
Huh.
It's just one of those weird things, like, I always hear about, and I make jokes about, but I personally have actually never seen one. In real life, of course. Now, I've watched a bunch of videos where people like to make puns off of the names of the furniture, but I've never actually been in one.
So you haven't played the IKEA, what's it called, like IKEA Furniture Assembler?
Oh no, but it sounds like a game I'd put all my money into.
I know that, I think Jacksepticeye played it.
Wow, I'm surprised PewDiePie didn't.
He probably has, I don't really care about that guy.
Hey, you don't speak ill about our general of the 4th Swedish Reich.
Well, he is the greatest propagandaist so far.
That is true. And if Wall Street Journal has anything to say, he is indeed part of our cause.
Oh yes. But you know, I can't officially show that I support him.
That is true. Remember, guys, this is the new world. Jokes are illegal. Which is pretty coincidental. I'm actually climbing in my plane right now, and I'm looking at an enemy in an HE-112, and his name is A. Hitler.
Ooh.
I actually thought that was banned in this game, because I recall there being like a rule that you're not allowed to name your username off of stuff like that. I
don't know, but that would actually make some kind of sense.
Yeah, not because the game has any sort of...
There we go, A. Hitler.
Yeah. No, for people who don't know, it's not because this game has any ill will towards any political sightings. It's just because in some countries it's illegal to, I don't know what the word, host such things, and for it to be released internationally, and so it's legal for their citizens to play the game.
Like Germany, for example, they have a very strict censoring, for example.
Yeah, at least
Or
in that department. Well, okay, let's be honest here. Is there anything Australia doesn't censor?
I don't think so.
I mean, I love, hey, Australians, shout out to Australians. We love you guys, but seriously, just because a game has a little dribble of blood here and there, it doesn't mean you have to annihilate the game from ever being sold.
Yeah, like the Left 4 Dead release in Australia.
Yeah. And Germany. It's actually censored in Germany, too. The whole
It is?
war.
Oh boy.
Although I do appreciate that Valve did make up for it, technically.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a bunch of weapons in those releases that are not in the normal releases for people who have the gore. Which, yeah, you know, since we're now, since Steam Workshop is now a thing, you can easily just get the weapons into your own games now. Same thing with international players. If you happen to have a copy of Left 4 Dead that is the censored version with the weapons but not the gore, there's easily workshop files that add the gore into your game so you can keep both. Vice versa for people like me who have the gore version but want the new weapons. Basically, yeah, the makeup for the censorship at the time, which couldn't be corrected at the time, Valve imported a bunch of Counter-Strike source weapons into the game as a little we're sorry that it has to be censored kind of gift. But of course, you know, like I said, with the new workshop and everything, it's irrelevant now. Because if you're like Australian and you want the gore, just get the workshop file. If you're like me and you want the new weapons, get the workshop file.
Well, that's what I love about Steam Workshop.
I wish every game had Steam Workshop. Shout out to Steam Workshop, probably one of the best updates Steam has ever done.
Oh yeah. Gotta love it.
Now you can, thanks to Steam Workshop, I can get all my delicious Hearts of Iron 4 mods without breaking my game.
Nice that you had bombs on your plane.
Yeah.
I'm already out.
It's I'm riding in an attacker, which is my favorite category of planes to play in this game.
Well, you're in SPD3.
Which I would admit, Gaijin, if you're hearing me, could you actually make rear gunners useful? I mean, that can't just be me. I have a problem with every rear gunner, whether it's bombers, specialty planes, or attackers. My rear gunners never seem to hit anything. And before somebody goes in the comments and screams that, well, you didn't upgrade them. Yeah, I have them fully upgraded. And they still can't hit anything.
Yeah, I notice myself now when I play the Blenheim that it's easier to just do it yourself.
Yeah, that's the only problem I really have with rear gunners is that they never seem to they can't seem to hit anything. My other problem with rear gunners is that they seem to have a odd time targeting. Case in point, there was a game I was playing, and I have video footage of it because me and my friend were playing, where a dude in a Ki, one of the Japanese fighters, got like 0.3 kilometers behind me, and my gunner was just sitting there staring at him. And he wasn't unconscious, he had ammo loaded, and he was just sitting there, and I was like, oh my god, would you please just shoot? Also, I researched the plane. Whew.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, an A36. Shout out to the A36. Do you drive an A36? You should subscribe.
Yeah, if you drive one to work every day, yeah, you should.
I wonder, is there a job where you would fly a plane to your job? Yes, if you worked in an airport.
Yeah. So, that will be the end of this episode. I guess.
Oh,
You got
yeah.
so quiet there.
Yeah, I was getting quiet because I always get quiet when it's like you're doing the outro. I thought you were doing the outro.
No, I was just saying that we should finish this now.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the end of the episode, and thank you guys so much for watching, and if you liked what you saw, do leave a like and a comment, and do subscribe to the channel for more awesome videos. We're going to sign off, and we'll see you guys later.
Got me an orange soda.
Nice, I'm having some beer.
Yeah.
Because I can't play sober.